What if everything we think we know about Earth's history is wrong? Imagine a miner, deep underground, who doesn't find a rare gem or a dinosaur bone, but something far stranger. A piece of perfectly crafted, impossible machinery, buried in rock that formed before animals even existed on our planet. This isn't science fiction. This is the incredible premise we're exploring tonight. The discovery of a machine older than humanity itself. Not just older than our written history, but older than us. Older than the dinosaurs. This single, mysterious object would force us to rewrite the entire story of our world, posing a terrifying question. If we weren't the first intelligent species on Earth, what happened to the ones who came before? This journey will change how you see our place in the universe. If you're ready to uncover the secrets of our planet's deepest past, subscribe to Mysteries for Sleep, and let's begin. There is a silence that exists 2 miles beneath the surface of the Earth, a silence so profound it has a physical weight. It's not the quiet of a library or a forest at night. It's the crushing, absolute hush of unimaginable pressure, of rock that has not seen the sun or felt the wind for 2 billion years. This is the silence of the Canadian Shield, one of the oldest, most stable pieces of our planet's crust. And it is here, in the deep galleries of the Kidd Creek copper zinc mine in Ontario, that our story begins, not with a bang, but with the routine, grinding monotony of work. The air is thick and hot, smelling of damp rock, diesel fuel, and sweat. Powerful lights mounted on massive vehicles throw long, dancing shadows against the rough-hewn walls, their glare catching the glitter of pyrite fool's gold in the ore. The men and women here are not explorers. They are technicians of the deep earth, their world defined by shift schedules, safety protocols, and the daily tonnage of rock they extract. They are there to find copper, zinc, and silver. They are not there to find a mystery. But history, especially Earth's deep and secret history, has a way of interrupting the best-laid plans. The shift was like any other for the crew of Borehole D7. Their task was exploratory, drilling a series of core samples ahead of the main excavation to map the richness of the ore body. The drill, a massive, robotic apparatus, was chewing its way through a section of Precambrian basalt, rock that had cooled from volcanic magma over 1 billion years ago. The operator, a woman named Anya Sharma with 10 years of experience in the deep mines, watched her monitors with a practiced eye, her hand resting lightly on the control lever. The vibrations coming through the machine were normal, the power draw consistent. The core barrel was extracting a perfect cylinder of rock, 5 centimeters in diameter, and bringing it to the surface every 10 meters. The samples were being catalogued by a geologist's assistant, a young man named Leo, who would box them up, label them, and send them to the surface for analysis. It was a process that had been repeated 1 million times in mines across the world. It was the bedrock, quite literally, of their industry. It was on the retrieval of the core from a depth of 3,212 meters that something changed. Anya felt it first through the controls a subtle, high-frequency vibration that was wrong. It wasn't the gritty resistance of a tougher vein of rock. It was a sharp, metallic shudder that lasted for a few seconds and then was gone. The drill bit's diagnostics flashed a minor anomaly at momentary. Tiny spike in temperature and a hardness reading that went off the scale before immediately dropping back to normal. Anya frowned, running a quick diagnostic. The system showed no errors. She put it down to a sensor glitch, a common occurrence in the harsh environment, and resumed the drill. When the core barrel retracted, Leo moved in to collect the sample. He slid the 4-foot-long cylinder of stone from the barrel and onto the waiting rack. He was about to spray it with a marker when he stopped. The end of the core sample wasn't right. The basalt was a uniform grey-black, but embedded within it, about halfway down its length, was a perfect, gleaming silver circle, roughly the size of a coin. It was seamlessly fused into the rock, as if it had been poured into a bubble within the molten magma itself. The rock surrounding the metal was different too. It was glassy, almost like it had been instantly melted and then Leo called Anya over. They both shone their headlamps on it, their brows furrowed. "What is that?" Leo asked. "A nodule. Some kind of weird pyrite." Anya shook her head. Pyrite was brassy yellow and cubic. This was silvery, perfectly round and smooth. It looked machined. She ran a gloved finger over it. It was perfectly flush with the rock. It was also cold, colder than the surrounding stone. "I don't know," she said, her voice echoing in the cavern. "But it sheared the drill. Mark the box. Flag it for the lab. Let's see what the eggheads upstairs make of it." It was handled with mild curiosity, the kind reserved for any oddity that breaks the monotony of a long shift. There was no sense of awe, no premonition. It was just a weird rock. The sample, along with dozens of others from that day's drilling, was sent up the elevator shaft to the surface lab. Dr. Ben Carter, the chief geologist for the site, was a man in his late 50s whose passion for Earth's history was matched only by his love of strong coffee. He was processing the day's cores, splitting them open with a rock saw to examine their interior composition. When he got to the box from D7, flagged with a yellow sticky note that read metallic inclusion, he sighed. It was usually something mundane, a piece of drill bit that had broken off and been incorporated into the sample, a contaminant from higher up in the shaft. He made the first cut, bisecting the core lengthwise. The interior was revealed, and Dr. Carter's world, a world built on the solid, predictable laws of geology, tilted on its axis there, exposed in the fresh cut, was not just a metallic circle. It was the cross-section of a complex, impossible object. The metal was not a nodule. It was a housing. Within it, visible in the cut, were what could only be described as components, fine, hair-like filaments of a different, coppery metal, arranged in a stunningly precise fractal pattern around a central, crystalline core. The surrounding rock showed a clear contact metamorphosis sonar halo, where the intense heat of the basalt's formation had been somehow altered. The crystal structures in this zone were aligned, ordered, as if they had been subjected to a powerful magnetic or energy field while cooling. This was not a natural geological formation. It was not a piece of lost equipment. It was a piece of technology, and it was entombed in rock that his every instinct and experience told him was over 1 billion years old. His hands began to tremble. He carefully, so carefully, placed the rock sample on the lab bench. He then walked to his office, closed the door, and called the head of the mining company. His report was simple, and it was earth-shattering. "We need to shut down borehole D7, right now. And we need to call the government." The following 72 hours were a blur of quiet, controlled panic. The mine site was not evacuated, but access to the deep levels was restricted under the guise of a structural integrity survey. The sample was photographed from every angle, then carefully placed in a lead-lined case normally used for radioactive samples. It was flown under security escort to a secured, anonymous-looking government materials research facility outside Ottawa. The team assembled to study it was small, hand-picked for their expertise and their discretion. A materials scientist, a physicist, a geochronologist, and a representative from the national security apparatus. A severe woman whose job was to ask, "What does this mean for us?" The object, now freed from its rocky shell by painstaking laser ablation, sat on a neutral field bench in a sterile, clean room. Under the bright lights, its impossibility was even more glaring. It was a disc, about 3 centimeters in diameter and 1 centimeter thick. Its surface was a flawless, non-reflective silver gray. It was featureless, with no seams, no screws, no markings of any kind. It was just perfect. And it was, as the head of the team, Dr. Eris Thorne, would later describe it, unfathomably, impossibly inert. The first battery of tests was a lesson in frustration. The material defied analysis. A scanning electron microscope could not get a clear reading. Its beams seemed to be scattered or absorbed before it could resolve the surface atoms. An X-ray fluorescence spectrometer returned an error code. It couldn't identify the elemental composition. It was completely not. It showed no electrical conductivity. It was denser than any known metal, yet felt weightless in the hand, a paradox that made no sense. It was also, as Leo had noted in the mine, perpetually cold. Thermographic cameras showed it sitting at a constant 4.0 degrees Celsius, regardless of the room's temperature, as if it was siphoning ambient heat into itself for some unknown purpose. The only thing they could tell was that it was not of this world. But it wasn't a meteorite either. Its composition and structure were clearly artificial. The geochronologist, Dr. Lena Petrova, delivered the final, crushing blow. She had used a laser ablation mass spectrometer on the tiny fragments of rock still clinging to the object, dating the minute zircon crystals within them. The age was not in question. The rock that had encased this object was 1.62 billion years old. The room fell into a silence even deeper than the mine it had come from. The object on the table was not just older than humanity. It was older than multicellular life. It was from a time when the most advanced thing on Earth was a slimy mat of bacteria in a shallow sea. The question was no longer what it was. The questions were now, who made it? And what, in the name of all that was logical, was it doing here? You're standing in a dim cavern, the air thick with dust and tension. The machine smooth, dark, and impossibly old looms before you. It's been days since the drill struck it, that sharp clang still echoing in everyone's minds. The Taklamakan desert above burns under the August 2025 sun, but down here it's cold, like the machine is pulling warmth from the air. The miners are gone, sent away by Global Core Industries. Now it's just the science team, led by Dr. Arya Voss, staring at something that shouldn't exist. They've got tools cameras, scanners, an AI called Seeker, but nothing feels ready for this. The machine's surface gleams, untouched by time, its edges too perfect, like it was carved by something beyond human hands. Everyone feels it. This thing is more than metal. Dr. Voss steps closer, her boots crunching on loose rock. She's calm, but her eyes are wide, drinking in every detail. The machine is big, 30 meters wide, maybe more, stretching into the shadows. Its surface isn't just smooth. It's flawless, like a still lake under moonlight. She reaches out, hesitates, then lets her gloved hand hover above it. The team watches, holding their breath. Her fingers brush the surface. It's warm, not cold like stone or steel. A faint hum vibrates through her glove, soft but steady, like a heartbeat. It's different, she says, her voice quiet but clear over the team's headsets. Different how? Nobody asks, but they all feel it's something alive, something watching. The team sets up camp around the machine. Lights buzz to life, casting sharp beams across its curves. They try simple tests first. A laser cutter, used for slicing rock, sparks and dies when it touches the surface. A drill bit snaps like a twig. Tools that carve mountains can't even scratch this thing. Mei Chen, the young geologist, takes notes, her pencil shaking. It's like it's saying no, she whispers to a teammate. The team laughs nervously, but her words stick. The machine isn't just hard, it's refusing them. They try cameras next, zooming in on the grooves etched across its surface. The patterns are strange, spirals that twist inward, lines that bend in ways that hurt your eyes. They're not random. They mean something. Seeker, the AI hums in a corner, its screens glowing with data. It's built to find patterns humans miss, trained on everything from ancient carvings to star maps. Voss feeds it images of the grooves. The AI churns, its fans worry louder than usual. After hours, it spits out a report. The patterns are math, but not our math. They're based on numbers that loop and fold, like a code written for a mind we can't imagine. It's a language, Voss says, staring at the screen. Or instructions. The team leans in, their faces lit by the glow. Instructions for what? Nobody says it, but the question hangs heavy. They try touching it again, this time with bare hands. Voss goes first, peeling off her glove. The team protests protocol, says no direct contact, but she waves them off. Her fingers meet the surface, and she gasps. It's not just warm. It's alive, pulsing softly, like it's breathing with her. It knows I'm here, she says, half to herself. Her hand lingers, and for a moment, the cavern feels smaller, like the walls are watching. Another scientist, Dr. Patel, tries next. He pulls back fast, shaking his head. It's wrong, he says. It feels not ours. The words sound silly, but nobody laughs. They all feel it now, a sense of being seen, judged, by something vast. The team sets up more gear, sound recorders, heat sensors, magnetic scanners. The machine doesn't like being poked. Every test gets a response, small but clear. A laser makes it hum louder. A sonar ping makes it glow faintly, just for a second. The hum isn't random, it's a pattern, like a song stuck on repeat. Seeker tracks it, graphing waves that look like heartbeats. It's reacting, Voss says, her voice steady but her eyes bright with wonder. Reacting to what? To them, to the tests, or to something else, something they can't see. The cavern feels alive now, every sound echoing too long, every shadow moving just a bit wrong. Global Core's bosses aren't happy. They watch through encrypted feeds, their voices crackling over radios. Keep it quiet, they say. No leaks. But the team's too deep in to care. They're scientists, not soldiers. They want answers, not orders. Voss argues for more time, more tests. This could change everything, she says. The suits don't argue back, they know she's right, but they're scared. Scared of what it means, scared of what it might do. They send more guards, their boots loud in the tunnels. The scientists ignore them, focused on the machine. But the guard's presence makes it real. This isn't just a discovery. It's a secret someone once buried. Mei Chen can't sleep. She sits by the machine at night, sketching its patterns. Her notebook is full of spirals, loops, shapes that don't make sense but feel important. It's like it's talking, she tells Voss, her voice soft. Voss nods, not laughing at her like the others might. She's seen too much to dismiss it. The miners, locked in their barracks miles away, talk to. They dream of the machine, of eyes in the dark, of a hum that follows them into sleep. One swears he saw it glow when he walked by, like it was calling him. Superstition, maybe, but it's spreading. Even the guards look uneasy, their hands tight on their rifles. The team tries a new test, electricity. They run a low current through a probe, touching it to the surface. The machine answers. A soft pulse ripples out, felt more than heard, like a wave passing through your bones. Lights flicker. The air hums, not loud but deep, shaking dust from the ceiling. Seeker's screens glitch, then show something new. A map, not of Earth, but of something bigger, lines, connecting points in a web that stretches beyond the screen. Voss stares, her breath caught. It's not just here, she says. It's connected. Connected to what? Nobody knows, but the map feels alive. Like it's drawing itself as they watch. Days pass, and the machine keeps talking in its own way. Every touch, every test, gets a reply, hums, glows, pulses. The team maps its edges, finding no end. It's not just one piece. It's part of something bigger, buried deeper than they can dig. Voss calls it a network, but that word feels too small. It's a system, a web, maybe a mind. The grooves shift slightly under different lights, like they're moving when no one looks. Seeker keeps running, its data piling up. Numbers, patterns, waves. It flags one symbol over and over, a spiral that repeats across the surface. It's a key, Voss says, her voice firm. A key to what? Nobody's ready to guess. The cavern changes too. The air feels heavier, like it's holding its breath. Shadows seem to move on their own, though nobody says it out loud. Patel stops touching the machine, says it makes his head hurt. Chen keeps sketching, her pages now a maze of lines. Voss stays calm, but her hands shake when she thinks no one's watching. The guards pace, their radios buzzing with orders they don't share. Global Core wants results, but the team's only finding questions. What is this thing? Why is it here? And why does it feel like it's waiting for them? The hum grows louder, just a bit, like it's waking up. The segment ends with a test gone wrong. They try a stronger current, hoping to see more of the map. The machine responds too much. A pulse surges, loud enough to hear now, a low rumble that shakes the cavern. Rocks fall, small ones, but enough to make everyone freeze. The surface glows brighter, not just a shimmer but a steady light, like a star trapped in metal. Voss steps back, her eyes wide. We're not ready for this, she says, her voice barely above the hum. The light pulses once, twice, then fades. Silence falls, heavier than before. Something's started, and nobody knows what comes next. You're back in the cavern, standing in the glow of work lights that barely touch the shadows. The machine, that impossible slab of metal, sits quiet but not still. Its faint hum fills the air, like a whisper you can't quite catch. It's been a week since the drill hit it, since that clang changed everything. The Taklamakan Desert above is a furnace, but down here the air is cold, heavy with secrets. Dr. Arya Voss and her team are deeper in now, their tools spread out like a battlefield. They're trying to understand this thing 30 meters wide, maybe more, with no end in sight. It's not just old. It's older than anything should be. They're about to find out how old, and it's going to break every rule they know. The team starts with simple tests, the kind you'd run on any find. They scrape tiny bits of rock around the machine, careful not to touch it after last week's pulse. The samples go into a portable lab, a boxy machine humming with lights. It's a radiometric scanner built to read the age of rocks by how their atoms decay. Voss watches the screen, her face tight. The first results come back, and they don't make sense. The rock around the machine's sandstone, shale, bits of fossilized coral dates to 14 million years ago. That's the Miocene epoch, a time when the earth was warm, when early apes swung through jungles, and no human was even a dream. The team double-checks, runs the test again. Same answer. The machine is buried in layers that old, untouched by quakes or floods. Voss paces, her boots scuffing the cavern floor. 14 million years, she says, half to herself. No civilization existed then. Nothing could have built this. Her team nods, but their eyes are uneasy. They're scientists, geologists, physicists, engineers, but this feels like stepping off a map. The machine shouldn't be here. It's too perfect, its edges sharp, its surface smooth as glass. Fossils in the rock show ancient fish, early mammals, but nothing like this. No tools, no bones, no sign of anyone who could have made it. Mei Chen, the young geologist, flips through her notebook, her sketches of the machine's spirals shaking in her hands. It's like it was dropped here, she says. Nobody laughs. They're thinking it too. They try more tests, digging deeper into the rock. The layers tell a story. Millions of years of sand, pressure, time. The machine sits at the bottom, like it was waiting before the earth even knew what humans were. They check for disturbances, cracks, faults. Anything that could mean it was placed later. Nothing. The strata are clean. Like the machine was sealed in when the rock formed. Dr. Patel, the physicist, shakes his head. This isn't possible, he says. If it's that old, it should be dust. Metal doesn't last like this. But it's not just metal. It's something else. Something that doesn't rust, or crack, or fade. Something that feels alive. The team sets up new gear, heavier stuff, flown in by ground-penetrating radar maps the rock below, searching for the machine's edges. The scans come back strange. The machine doesn't just sit in the rockets woven into it, like roots in soil. Lines of metal, thin as threads, stretch out, disappearing into the earth. They're not wires, not pipes, but something in between. Voss stares at the radar images, her breath catching. It's not just one piece, she says. It's part of something bigger. The team looks at each other, the cavern suddenly too small. Bigger how? A network, a system. Nobody wants to say it, but the word hangs there. Alive.seeker, the AI hums louder now, its screens filled with data. It's been running non-stop, chewing through images of the machine's surface. Those grooves, spirals, lines, shapes that twist your eyes are more than art. Seeker calls them a code, a pattern based on math we don't fully grasp. It's not random, not decoration. It's a message, or maybe a map. The AI flags one shape, a spiral that repeats over and over, like a fingerprint. Voss leans in, her face lit by the screen. It's a signature, she says. Something left its mark. Whose mark? Nobody knows, but the idea sends a shiver through the team. They're not just studying a thing. They're touching someone's work. They try touching it again, careful this time. Voss uses a sensor stick, not her hand. The machine hums when it connects, a low note that makes your chest tight. The hum changes with each touch, like it's answering. Patel sets up sound recorders, catching the hum's pattern. It's not just noise, it's a rhythm, like a heartbeat or a signal. Seeker graphs it, showing waves that pulse in sync with the machine's glow. It's responding, Patel says, his voice low. Responding to what? To them, to the tests, or to something else, something far away. The cavern feels different now, like it's listening, waiting for their next move. Global Core's bosses are nervous. Their voices crackle through radios, sharp and clipped. No more risks, they say. Keep it contained, but the team can't stop. They're too close, too curious. Voss argues back, her voice steady but hard. This isn't just a find. It's everything. The suits don't like that. They send more guards, their footsteps echoing louder than before. The scientists ignore them, focused on the machine, but the tension grows. Mei Chen overhears a guard talking about shutting it down. Shutting what down? The dig? The machine? Nobody knows, but it feels like a clock is ticking. The team tries a new test, heat sensors. They want to know if the machine's warmth is real or just their imagination. The sensors spike, showing heat that shouldn't be there. It's not hot like fire, but warm, like skin. The warmth pulses, matching the hum. Voss touches it again, against orders, her bare hand this time. She pulls back fast, her eyes wide. It moved, she says. Not a shake or a tremor, ripple, like water under her fingers. The team stares, frozen. The machine didn't move like a machine. It moved like something alive, something that knows they're here. Days turn into nights, but nobody sleeps much. The cavern is their world now, the machine at its center. Mei Chen keeps sketching, her notebook a tangle of spirals and lines. She doesn't say it, but she thinks the machine is watching her. Patel stops eating, says the hums in his head now. Voss stays calm, but her hands shake when she writes reports. The guards watch closer, their radios buzzing with words the team can't hear. Global Core wants answers, but all they're getting is questions. What is this thing? Why is it here? And why does it feel like it's waiting for them to figure it out? They try one last test, a big one. They set up a magnetic scanner, the kind used for mapping or veins. Its risky magnets can mess with unknown tech, but they need answers. The scanner hums, then screams. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. Lights flicker, and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker's screens flash red, showing a map again, not just lines, but a web stretching out, connecting points across the earth. Voss stares, her voice barely a whisper. It's not alone, she says. The map glows, alive, like it's drawing itself. The pulse fades, but the cavern feels different now, like it's holding its breath. Segment 4, unveiling the form, geometry beyond Naturea, deep in the cavern now, where shadows cling to the walls like secrets. The machine looms larger than ever, its smooth, dark surface catching the flicker of work lights. It's been 2 weeks since the drill hit it, that sharp clang still haunting the team. The Taklamakan desert above bakes under the August 2025 sun, but down here the air is cold, heavy, like the machine is pulling everything toward it. Dr. Aria Voss and her team are in deeper. Their tools spread out like a puzzle they can't solve. They know it's old 14 million years, from a time when apes were just learning to walk. But it's not just old. It's something else, something that doesn't fit. Today, they're trying to see it, really see it, to understand what it is. And it's about to show them more than they expected. The team has been digging carefully, using robotic arms to peel back rock. The machine is bigger than they thought, 40 meters wide now, maybe more, stretching into the dark. Its surface isn't just smooth. It's perfect, like it was poured from a mold no human could make. The edges curve in ways that don't make sense, bending light, twisting your eyes. Voss stands close, her breath fogging in the cold. She runs a flashlight over it, and the beam dances, not reflecting right. "It's not metal," she says, her voice soft but firm. "Not like we know." The team nods, their faces tight. They've seen the scans, felt the hum. This thing is different, and they're starting to feel small next to it. They start with new tools, brought in by Global Core Industries. Ground-penetrating radar hums, mapping what's below. The screens show something strange. The machine doesn't end. It's not just a slab, it's a structure, with parts that go deep, like roots or veins. Thin lines spread out, too fine to be pipes, too complex to be wires. They twist and loop, forming shapes that look wrong, like drawings that change when you blink. Mei Chen, the young geologist, sketches them in her notebook, her pencil shaking. "It's like a web," she says. "Or a body." Nobody laughs. The radar keeps going, showing chambers inside hollow spaces, maybe rooms, maybe something else. The team feels it. This isn't just a thing. It's a system. Voss calls for better scans. They bring in an ultrasound machine, the kind used for oil deposits. It sends waves through the rock, bouncing back to paint a picture. The picture isn't clear, but it's enough to make everyone stop. The machine has layers, like a city folded inside itself. There are tunnels, not straight, but curved, spiraling in ways that don't follow physics. The ultrasound catches shapes inside spheres, cubes, things that shift as the waves hit them. "It's moving," Patel, the physicist, says, his voice sharp. "Not moving like a machine, but flexing like it's breathing." The team stares at the screen, their lights casting long shadows. The cavern feels tighter now, like it's closing in. Seeker, the AI, is working harder than ever. Its screens glow with data, pulling patterns from the machine's surface. Those grooves, spirals, lines, shapes that twist your mind aren't just marks. They're a design, a map, maybe a plan. Seeker's analysis shows math, but not the kind we teach. It's based on numbers that loop and fold, like a code for a world we don't know. Voss leans over the screen, her eyes narrow. "It's a blueprint," she says. "For what? I don't know." The AI flags one shape, a spiral that repeats across the machine, like a word written over and over. It's not random. It's a signal, a signature, something left behind. They try touching it again, careful now. Voss uses a sensor rod, not her hand. The machine hums when it connects, a low note that makes your teeth ache. The hum changes, like it's talking back. Patel sets up microphones, catching the sound. It's not just a hum, it's a pattern, a rhythm, like a song you can't quite hear. Seeker graphs it, showing waves that pulse like a heartbeat. It's alive, Chen whispers, then catches herself. Nobody corrects her. They've all felt it, the warmth, the pulse, the way the machine seems to know they're there. It's not just reacting, it's responding, like it's been waiting for them. The team tries light next. They shine different colors: red, blue, ultraviolet, hoping for a clue. The machine drinks the light, not reflecting but absorbing it, then glowing softly in return. The glow follows the grooves, tracing spirals that seem to move, like water flowing under glass. Voss watches, her breath caught. It's showing us something, she says. The team sets up cameras, zooming in. The grooves shift under the light, not physically but visually, like a picture changing as you tilt it. They record it, hours of footage, but it's hard to watch. The shapes make your head hurt, like staring at a puzzle you'll never solve. Global Core's bosses are watching, their voices sharp over the radio. No more tests without clearance, they say. They're scared, not of the machine, but of what it means. Voss argues back, her voice steady. We can't stop now. This is bigger than us. The suits don't like it, but they don't pull her out. They send more guards instead, their boots loud in the tunnels. The team feels the pressure, but they keep going. They're scientists, driven by questions, not orders. Chen keeps sketching, her notebook full of shapes that feel alive. Patel checks the scans, muttering about impossible geometry. Voss stays focused, but her hands shake when she thinks no one's looking. They try a new scan, a big one. They set up a magnetic imager, the kind used for deep mining. Its risky magnets can mess with unknown tech, but they need to see more. The imager hums, then whines. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. Lights flicker, and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker's screens flash, showing a new image, a web of lines, not just under the cavern, but stretching out, connecting points across the earth. Voss stares, her voice low. It's not just here, she says. It's everywhere. The web glows, like it's drawing itself, linking places they can't name. The pulse fades, but the image stays, burning into their minds. The cavern changes with every test. The air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. Shadows move when they shouldn't, though nobody says it out loud. Patel stops touching the machine, says it makes his skin crawl. Chen keeps sketching, her pages a maze of spirals and loops. She doesn't sleep much, says the hums in her dreams now. Voss stays calm, but her notes are messy, full of question marks. The guards watch closer, their radios buzzing with words the team can't hear. Global Core wants control, but the machine doesn't care. It hums, glows, pulses, like it's waking up, bit by bit. The team tries one last test, a bold one. They send a low electric current through the machine, just a spark. The response is instant. The surface glows, not faint but bright, like a star trapped in metal. The grooves light up, tracing patterns that move faster now, like a dance. Seeker crashes, its screens frozen on a single image, a spiral bigger than before, spinning slowly. The cavern shakes, just a little, enough to make everyone freeze. Voss steps back, her eyes wide. We're not just looking at it, she says. It's looking back. The glow fades, but the hum stays, louder now, like a voice finding its strength. You're still in the cavern, where the air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. The machine sits there, its dark surface glowing faintly under the team's lights. It's been weeks since the drill hit it, that sharp clang still echoing in their heads. The Taklamakan desert above is a sea of sand, burning under the late August 2025 sun, but down here it's cold, quiet, and heavy with questions. Dr. Aria Voss and her team are surrounded by tool scanners, cameras, the AI called Seeker, but none of it feels enough. They know the machine is old, 14 million years, from a time when the Earth had no humans, no cities, just jungles and early apes. It's not just its age that shakes them. It's the way it hums, pulses, and seems to know they're here. Now, they're trying to figure out what it is, who made it, and why it's here. The team gathers in a corner of the cavern, their faces lit by laptop screens. They're tired, eyes red from long nights, but nobody wants to leave. The machine's surface, smooth as glass, catches their lights, throwing back strange shadows. Voss starts the meeting, her voice steady but soft. "We need to talk about what this is," she says. "Not just what it's made of, but who made it." The team nods, but the question feels too big. 14 million years ago, there were no tools, no builders, no one who could craft something this perfect. Yet here it is, buried deep, untouched by time. They start throwing out ideas, each one wilder than the last, trying to make sense of the impossible. Mei Chen, the young geologist, speaks first. She's been sketching the machine's spirals, her notebook full of shapes that twist and loop. "What if it's from a civilization we don't know about?" she says. "Something before humans, something smart." The idea hangs in the air. A lost civilization, one that rose and fell before we ever walked the earth. They call it the Silurian hypothesis, a theory from scientists who wondered if intelligent life could have existed millions of years ago. The team likes it fits the machine's age, its strange design. But there's no proof. No bones, no cities, no fossils of anything that could have built this. Just rock and time. Dr. Patel, the physicist, shakes his head. "No civilization could last this long without a trace," he says. "This isn't from Earth." His words are sharp, cutting through the hum of the machine. He thinks it's alien, something left by visitors from another world. Maybe a probe, sent to watch or wait. The team leans in, their eyes bright. Aliens make sense in a way the machines, too perfect, too strange. Its grooves, those spirals Seeker flagged as math, could be a message from the stars. But Patel's idea has holes too. Why bury it so deep? Why leave no other signs? The cavern feels colder, like the idea of aliens brought a chill with it. Then there's another thought, quieter but heavier. A technician, Samir, speaks up, his voice nervous. "What if it's from the future?" He says. The team goes quiet. Time travel. It sounds crazy, but it's not impossible. The machine's design, its resistance to time, could mean it was sent back, dropped into the Miocene for reasons they can't guess. Voss tilts her head, thinking. "If it's from the future," she says, "why is it here now? What's it waiting for?" Nobody answers, but the idea sticks, like a shadow that won't leave. A machine from a time not yet born, waiting in the past. It's too much, but they can't let it go. They turn to Seeker, the AI, for help. Its screens glow, filled with data from the machine's surface. Those grooves, spirals, lines, shapes that hurt your eyes are more than art. Seeker says they're a code, a language based on math we don't fully understand. It's found patterns, numbers that repeat in ways that feel alive. Voss stares at the screen, her fingers tapping. It's trying to tell us something, she says, but we're not smart enough to hear it. Seeker flags one spiral, the same one it keeps finding, like a name written over and over. The team calls it the key, hoping it unlocks the truth. But it's just another question. They try new tests, simple ones. They shine lights on the machine, watching how it drinks them in. Red light makes it hum, blue makes it glow, ultraviolet makes the groove shift like they're moving. The team records it, hours of video, but it's hard to watch. The shapes twist your mind like a puzzle you can't solve. Patel sets up sound sensors, catching the machine's hum. It's not just noise, it's a rhythm, like a heartbeat or a signal. Seeker graphs it, showing waves that match the spirals. It's all connected, Patel says, his voice low. Connected to what? Nobody knows, but the machine feels more alive every day. The cavern changes, too. The air feels thick, like it's watching them. Shadows move when they shouldn't, though nobody says it out loud. Chen keeps sketching, her notebook a maze of lines. She doesn't sleep much, says the hums in her dreams, whispering things she can't understand. Patel stops touching the machine, says it makes his head hurt. Voss stays calm, but her notes are messy, full of question marks. The guards, sent by Global Corps, watch closer now. Their radios buzz with words the team can't hear. The company wants answers, fast. But all they're getting is theories. None of them solid. All of them scary. They dive deeper into the ideas. The Silurian theory feels close, but it's shaky. If a civilization built this, where are their bones? Their tools? The rock around the machine is clean. No fossils of anything smart. Patel's alien idea is stronger, but it raises more questions. Why hide it here? What's it for? A probe, a beacon, a warning. Samir's time travel idea is the wildest, but it fits the machine's strangeness. If it's from the future, it could be a message, a warning, or something worse. Voss listens, her eyes narrow. Every theory breaks something, she says. History, physics, time itself. They try talking to the machine, not with words, but with signals. They send sounds, light flashes, even small electric pulses. The machine answers every time, a hum, a glow, a pulse that shakes the air. It's not random. It's like a conversation, but they don't know the language. Seeker tracks it, showing patterns that grow more complex. The key spiral shows up again, glowing brighter under certain lights. Voss touches it, her glove off, against orders. The surface is warm, pulsing like it's alive. She pulls back, her breath fast. It knows we're here, she says. The team stares, frozen. Knows how, knows why. Global Corps' bosses are getting louder. Their voices crackle over the radio, sharp and nervous. No more wild ideas, they say. Stick to facts, but the facts are wild. The machine is 14 million years old, built by someone or something we can't name. It hums, glows, and answers when they speak. Voss argues back, her voice hard. This isn't something you can box up, she says. It's bigger than us. The suits don't like it. They send more guards, their boots echoing in the tunnels. The team feels the pressure, but they keep going. They're scientists chasing truth, not orders. The team tries one big test. They set up a new scanner, one that maps energy fields. Its risky energy scans can mess with unknown tech, but they need more. The scanner hums, then whines. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. Lights flicker, and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker's screens flash, showing a new image, a web of lines, not just in the cavern, but stretching out, connecting places across the earth. Voss stares, her voice barely a whisper. "It's not alone," she says. The web glows, like it's alive, linking points they can't name. The pulse fades, but the image stays, burning into their minds. You're back in the cavern, where the air feels heavy, like it's pressing down on you. The machine sits there, its dark, smooth surface catching the faint glow of work lights. It's been 3 weeks since that drill hit it, the sharp clang still fresh in everyone's minds. Above, the Taklamakan Desert bakes under the late August 2025 sun. But down here, it's cold, quiet, and full of secrets. Dr. Aria Voss and her team are surrounded by tool scanners, microphones, the AI called Seeker, but nothing feels enough for what they're facing. They know the machine is 14 million years old, from a time before humans existed. They've guessed it might be from a lost civilization, aliens, or even the future. But now, it's doing something new. It's not just sitting there. It's waking up, sending out signals that make the cavern feel alive. The team is tired, their faces pale under headlamps. They've been at it day and night, trying to understand this thing. The machine is big, 40 meters wide, maybe more, stretching into the shadows. Its surface is perfect, like a mirror that doesn't reflect right. Voss stands close, her eyes locked on it. The hum is stronger now, a low buzz you feel in your chest, like a heartbeat you can't ignore. They've tried lights, sounds, even electric pulses, and every time the machine answers, hums, glows, pulses back. It's not just reacting. It's talking in a way they don't understand. Today, they're looking for something new, energy. Something to explain why this thing feels so alive. They start with simple sensors, the kind used for finding oil or gas. They set up small boxes around the machine, each one blinking with lights. The sensors pick up something right away, a faint energy field, not strong but steady, like a pulse. Voss checks the readings, her fingers tapping fast. "This isn't normal," she says. "It's not electricity or heat. It's something else." The team crowds around, their breath fogging in the cold. The sensors show waves, not random but patterned, like ripples in a pond. They're coming from the machine, spreading out through the rock. Patel, the physicist, shakes his head. "It's like it's breathing," he says, half joking. But nobody laughs. They bring in bigger tools, heavy gear, flown in by Global Core Industries. A magnetic scanner hums to life, its cables snaking across the cavern floor. It's meant for mapping deep ore, but today, it's hunting something stranger. The scanner whines, then spikes. The machine answers with a pulse, low and deep, like a drum in your bones. Lights flicker, and dust falls from the ceiling. The sensors go wild, showing energy moving in ways that don't make sense, waves that bend, twist, and loop, like the spirals on the machine's surface. Voss stares at the screen, her eyes wide. "It's not just here," she says. "It's reaching out. Reaching where?" Nobody knows, but the cavern feels smaller, like it's closing in. Seeker, the AI, is working overtime. Its screens glow, filled with graphs and numbers. It's been tracking the machine's hum, its glow, its every move. Now, it's picking up something new. Infrasound waves too low for human ears. They're coming from the machine, pulsing through the rock, out into the desert. Seeker grasps them, showing a rhythm that matches the energy waves. It's a signal, Voss says, her voice low but firm. A signal to what? To who? The team leans in, their faces lit by the screen's glow. The infrasound is steady, like a heartbeat, but it's getting stronger. Like the machine knows they're listening. They try a new test, a risky one. They send a small, electric pulse, just a spark, into the machine's surface. The response is instant. The hum grows louder, a deep rumble that shakes the air. The surface glows, not faint but bright, like a star waking up. The sensors spike, showing energy surging, not just in the cavern but beyond. Patel checks a monitor, his hands shaking. It's going through the rock, he says. Into the ground, maybe farther. The team freezes. Farther how? To other machines. To something waiting. The glow fades, but the hum stays, louder now. Like a voice finding its strength. The cavern feels different now, alive in a way it wasn't before. Shadows move when they shouldn't, though nobody says it out loud. Mei Chen, the young geologist, keeps sketching the machine's spirals, her notebook a tangle of lines. She doesn't sleep much, says the hums in her head, whispering things she can't catch. Patel stops eating, says the energy makes his skin crawl. Voss stays calm, but her notes are messy, full of question marks. The guards, sent by Global Corps, watch closer, their radios buzzing with words the team can't hear. The company wants control, but the machine doesn't care. It pulses, glows, hums, like it's been waiting all along. They try mapping the energy, using every tool they have. The sensors show waves spreading out, not just through the rock, but up into the air, maybe farther. Seeker tracks it, showing a web of signals, faint but growing. It's not random, it's a pattern, like the spirals on the machine. Voss stares at the screen, her breath caught. It's talking to something, she says. Talking to what? Another machine. A signal in the sky. The team doesn't know, but the idea makes the cavern feel too small, like they're standing on the edge of something huge. Global Corps' bosses are nervous, their voices sharp over the radio. No more tests without clearance, they say. They're scared, not of the machine, but of what it could mean. Voss argues back, her voice hard. We can't stop now, she says. This is bigger than us. The suits don't like it, but they don't pull her out. They send more guards instead, their boots loud in the tunnels. The team feels the pressure, but they keep going. They're scientists, chasing truth, not orders. Chen keeps sketching, her pages full of shapes that feel alive. Patel checks the sensors, muttering about impossible energy. Voss stays focused, but her hands shake when she thinks no one's looking. They try one last test, a big one. They set up a new scanner, one that tracks energy movement in real time. It's risky and known energy can mess with gear, but they need answers. The scanner hums, then screams. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. Lights flicker, and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker's screens flash, showing a new image, a web of energy, not just in the cavern but stretching out, connecting points across the earth. Voss stares, her voice barely a whisper. It's not alone, she says. The web glows, like it's alive, linking places they can't name. The pulse fades, but the image stays, burning into their minds. You're standing in the cavern where the air feels thick, like it's watching you. The machine looms in the dim light, its smooth, dark surface glowing faintly under the team's lamps. It's been a month since the drill hit it. That sharp clang still burned into their minds. Above, the Taklamakan Desert burns under the September 2025 sun. But down here, it's cold, quiet, and heavy with secrets. Dr. Aria Voss and her team are surrounded by tool scanners, cameras, the AI called Seeker, but the machine keeps its secrets tight. They know it's 14 million years old, from a time before humans, before cities, before anything we understand. They've felt its hum, seen its glow, caught its energy pulses. Now, they're trying to read it, to crack the code in its strange markings. But the machine is starting to talk back, and it's saying things they're not ready to hear. The team huddles around a table, their faces lit by laptop screens. The cavern is a maze of cables and lights, all pointed at the machine. Its surface is covered in grooves, spirals, lines, shapes that twist your eyes and make your head hurt. They're not just scratches. They're a pattern, a language, maybe a story. Voss points to a photo on the screen, zoomed in on one spiral. "This isn't random," she says, her voice steady but sharp. "It's a message." The team nods, their eyes tired but bright. They've been at this for weeks, chasing theories, lost civilizations, aliens, time travelers, but none of them feel right. The markings are their best clue, and they're ready to dig in. Seeker, the AI, is their biggest tool. It's a boxy machine, humming in a corner, its screens glowing with data. Seeker was built to find patterns humans miss, trained on everything from ancient carvings to star charts. They feed it images of the machine's surface, thousands of photos showing every groove, every curve. Seeker churns. Its fans worry loud, like it's thinking hard. After hours, it shows something new. The markings are math. A code based on numbers that loop and twist like nothing we use. "It's a language," Voss says, leaning over the screen. "But not for us." The team stares, their breath catching. A language for who? For what? The cavern feels smaller, like the walls are listening. They focus on one shape, a spiral that shows up over and over. Seeker calls it the key, a pattern that ties everything together. It's not just a shape, it's a code, a map, maybe a command. The spiral repeats across the machine, big and small, like a signature. Mei Chen, the young geologist, sketches it in her notebook, her pencil shaking. "It's like a name," she says, her voice soft. Nobody laughs. They've all felt the machine's hum, its glow, its pulse. It's alive in a way they can't explain, and the spiral feels like its heart. Voss nods, her eyes locked on the screen. "If we can read this," she says, "we'll know what it wants." They try new tests, simple at first. They shine lights on the spiral, different colors to see what happens. Red light makes the hum louder, blue makes the grooves glow, ultraviolet makes them shift, like they're moving. The team watches, their cameras rolling. The shifts aren't random, they follow a pattern, like words forming on the surface. Patel, the physicist, sets up microphones, catching the hum. It's not just noise. It's a rhythm, like a song or a signal. Seeker graphs it, showing waves that match the spiral's twists. "It's all connected," Patel says, his voice low. "Connected to what?" Nobody knows, but the machine feels more alive every day. They try touching the spiral, careful now. Voss uses a sensor rod, not her hand. The machine hums louder when it connects, a deep note that makes your chest tight. The spiral glows, just for a second, like it's answering. The team tries different spots, mapping how the hum changes. Each touch gets a replier pulse, a glow, a shift in the air. Seeker tracks it, showing patterns that grow more complex, like a conversation getting deeper. It's talking, Chen whispers, her eyes wide. Nobody corrects her. They've all felt it, the warmth, the pulse, the way the machine seems to know they're there. It's not just a thing. It's something more. Global Core's bosses are nervous, their voices sharp over the radio. No more risks, they say. Stick to the plan. But the plan is falling apart. The machine isn't just a find, it's a puzzle, and it's solving itself. Voss argues back, her voice hard. We can't stop now, she says. This is bigger than us. The suits don't like it, but they don't pull her out. They send more guards instead, their boots loud in the tunnels. The team feels the pressure, but they keep going. They're scientists, chasing truth, not orders. Chen keeps sketching, her notebook a maze of spirals. Patel checks the sensors, muttering about impossible math. Voss stays focused, but her hands shake when she thinks no one's looking. They try a new test, a big one. They set up a scanner that maps light patterns, hoping to read the grooves better. The scanner hums, then whines. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. Lights flicker, and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker's screens flash, showing a new image. The spiral, but bigger, glowing, spinning slowly. It's not just a mark, it's a map. A web of lines stretching out, connecting points across the machine. Voss stares, her breath caught. It's showing us something, she says. Showing what? A blueprint, a warning. The team doesn't know, but the spiral feels alive, like it's watching them back. The cavern changes with every test. The air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. Shadows move when they shouldn't, though nobody says it out loud. Chen stops sleeping, says the spirals in her dreams, drawing itself over and over. Patel stops touching the machine, says it makes his head hurt. Voss stays calm, but her notes are messy, full of question marks. The guards watch closer, their radios buzzing with words the team can't hear. Global Core wants control, but the machine doesn't care. It hums, glows, pulses, like it's been waiting for them to figure it out. They try one last test, a bold one. They send a small electric signal, not a spark but a wave, into the spiral. The response is instant. The surface glows, bright and steady, like a star trapped in metal. The spiral moves, not physically but visually, like a movie playing on the machine. Seeker crashes, its screens frozen on the spiral, now a web of light connecting points they can't name. Voss steps back, her eyes wide. It's not just a code, she says. It's a mind. The glow fades, but the hum stays. Louder now, like a voice finding its strength. You're deep in the cavern, where the air feels alive, humming with something you can't name. The machine looms before you, its smooth, dark surface catching the glow of work lights. It's been over a month since the drill hit it, that sharp clang still echoing in the team's minds. Above, the Taklamakan Desert burns under the September 2025 sun. But down here, it's cold, heavy, and full of secrets. Dr. Aria Voss and her team are surrounded by tool scanners. Cables, the AI called Seeker, but they're running out of safe ways to study this thing. They know it's 14 million years old, from a time before humans existed. They've felt its hum, seen its glow, caught its strange signals. Now, they're about to take a bigger risk. They're going to try waking it up, and the machine is ready to answer. The team is on edge, their faces pale under flickering lights. The machine is huge, 40 meters wide, maybe more, stretching into the dark. Its surface is perfect, like a mirror that bends light wrong. The grooves, spirals, lines, shapes that twist your eyes seem to move in the shadows, like they're waiting. Voss stands close, her breath fogging in the cold. They've tried lights, sounds, electric pulses, and every time, the machine responds, hums, glows, pulses back. It's not just a thing. It's alive in a way they can't explain. They've decoded parts of its markings, calling one spiral the key, but it's still a mystery. Today, they're going further. They're going to send a stronger signal, hoping to see what it does. They start with a plan, careful and slow. Voss gathers the team around a table, screens glowing with Seeker's data. "We've been poking it," she says, her voice steady but sharp. "Now we need to speak to it." The team nods, their eyes tired but bright. They've seen the machine's energy waves, its infrasound pulses, its glowing spirals. They know it's not just metal. It's a system, maybe a mind. Patel, the physicist, sets up a new Tula laser array built to send precise light signals. It's risky. Too much energy could break something or wake something they're not ready for. But they're out of safe options. The machine is talking and they need to answer. They aim the lasers at the key spiral. The one Seeker keeps flagging. The beams are thin, focused, pulsing in a pattern Seeker designed based on the machine's own signals. The cavern hums as the lasers hit, a low buzz you feel in your chest. The spiral glows, not faint but bright, like a star waking up. The team watches, their breath caught. The glow spreads, tracing the grooves, lighting up lines and shapes across the surface. It's not random, it's a dance, a pattern that moves like a story. Seeker's screens flash, showing waves that match the glow, like the machine is singing back. "It's working," Voss says, her voice low. "Working how?" Nobody knows, but the cavern feels alive. The team tries more, pushing the lasers harder. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. The air shakes, dust falling from the ceiling. Lights flicker and Seeker's screens glitch, showing a new imager web of light. Not just on the machine, but stretching out, like a map of something bigger. Patel stares, his hands shaking. "It's not just here," he says. "It's connected. Connected to what? To other machines. To something far away." The glow fades, but the hum grows louder, a deep rumble that makes your bones ache. The team steps back, their eyes wide. They've woken something, and it's bigger than they thought. Mei Chen, the young geologist, keeps sketching her notebook full of spirals and lines. She's been quiet, but now she speaks, her voice soft. "It's like it's happy," she says. Nobody laughs. They've all felt it, the warmth, the pulse, the way the machine seems to know them. Voss nods, her eyes locked on the surface. "It's responding," she says. But to what? They try again, sending a new signal, this time with sound-low tones, like the infrasound they've caught before. The machine hums back, matching the tone, then going deeper, louder. The cavern shakes, just a little. Enough to make everyone freeze. Global Core's bosses are watching, their voices sharp over the radio. Stop this now, they say. You're going too far. They're scared, not of the tests, but of what's happening. The machine isn't just a find, it's a force, and it's moving. Voss argues back, her voice hard. We can't stop, she says. This is what we came for. The suits don't like it, but they don't pull her out. They send more guards instead, their boots loud in the tunnels. The team feels the pressure, but they keep going. They're scientists, chasing truth, not orders. Chen keeps sketching, her pages a maze of shapes. Patel checks the sensors, muttering about impossible signals. Voss stays focused, but her hands shake when she thinks no one's looking. They try a new test, a bold one. They send an electric pulse, stronger than before, into the key spiral. The response is instant. The surface glows, bright and steady, like a sun trapped in metal. The grooves light up, tracing patterns that move fast, like a movie playing across the machine. Seeker's screens flash, showing a new imager web of light, not just in the cavern, but stretching out, connecting points across the earth. Voss stares, her breath caught. It's a network, she says. A network of what? Machines, signals. The glow pulses, once, twice, then fades. The hum stays louder now, like a voice finding its strength. The cavern changes with every test. The air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. Shadows move when they shouldn't, though nobody says it out loud. Chen stops sleeping, says the glows in her dreams, drawing webs she can't understand. Patel stops eating, says the hums in his head now. Voss stays calm, but her notes are messy, full of question marks. The guards watch closer, their radios buzzing with words the team can't hear. Global Core wants control, but the machine doesn't care. It hums, glows, pulses, like it's been waiting for this moment. They try one last test, the biggest yet. They set up a full array laser sound, electric pulses all, aimed at the key spiral. It's risky. Too much energy could break something, or wake something they can't control. The cavern hums as the array starts, a deep buzz that shakes the air. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than anything before. Lights flicker and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker crashes, its screens frozen on a single image. A web of light, glowing bright, connecting points across the earth, maybe beyond. Voss steps back, her eyes wide. We've started something, she says, her voice barely above the hum. Started what? Nobody knows, but the machine is awake now, and it's not going back to sleep. You're back in the cavern, where the air feels heavy, like it's holding its breath. The machine looms large, it's smooth, dark surface pulsing with faint light under the team's lamps. It's been weeks since the drill hit it, that sharp clang still fresh in their minds. Above, the Taklamakan desert burns under the September 2025 sun. But down here, it's cold, quiet, and full of secrets. Dr. Arya Voss and her team are surrounded by tool scanners. Cables, the AI called Seeker, but they're shaken. The machine, 14 million years old, from a time before humans, answered their last test with a glow and a hum that felt alive. They've woken something, and now things are changing fast. The cavern, the desert, maybe the world, is starting to feel it. And the team isn't ready for what's coming next. The team stands frozen, their faces pale in the dim light. The machine's last pulse was strong, shaking the cavern, making dust fall like rain. Voss stares at the surface, where the key spiral still glows faintly, like a star fading out. "We went too far," she says, her voice soft but sharp. "They meant to talk to it, to understand its code, but they got an answer they didn't expect. Seeker's screens are dark, crashed from the last test. But the image it showed a web of light, stretching across the earth burns in their minds." Patel, the physicist, checks the sensors, his hands shaking. "It's not just here," he says. "That pulse went somewhere. Somewhere where—" The team looks around, the cavern feeling smaller, like it's closing in. They check the sensors first, hoping for answers. The readings are wild energy waves, infrasound, magnetic spikes, all coming from the machine. The pulses aren't stopping. They're spreading, moving through the rock, out into the desert. Voss watches the screens, her eyes narrow. "It's like a signal," she says. "But for what?" The team doesn't know, but they feel that the air is different, charged, like before a storm. Outside, things are changing too. A guard runs in, his face pale. "The birds are gone," he says. "All of them." The team rushes to the surface, their boots loud in the tunnels. Above the desert is quiet, no birds, no bugs, just sand and heat. It's wrong, like the world is holding its breath. Back in the cavern, they try to make sense of it. The machine's hum is louder now, a steady rumble you feel in your chest. Seeker comes back online, its screens flickering. It shows new data. The pulses are moving farther, reaching places they can't track. Patel checks a map, his voice low. "There's activity in other deserts," he says. "Signals, tremors, like ours. Other deserts. Other machines." The team exchanges glances, their faces tight. The web they saw wasn't just a picture, it's real. Connecting points across the earth. Voss leans over the screen, her breath caught. "It's a network," she says, "and we just turned it on." The team feels the weight of it. They didn't just find a machine. They woke it up. The cavern shakes again, a small tremor, enough to make tools rattle. Dust falls, and the lights flicker. Chen, the young geologist, clutches her notebook, her sketches of spirals shaking in her hands. "It's talking to something," she says, her voice barely a whisper. Nobody corrects her. They've all felt it, the hum, the glow, the way the machine seems to know they're here. But now, it's not just talking to them. It's reaching out, sending signals to places they can't see. The air feels heavier, like it's waiting for something to happen. They try new tests, careful ones. They set up microphones to catch the hum, hoping to understand it. The sound is deep, rhythmic, like a heartbeat or a song. Seeker graphs it, showing waves that match the energy pulses. "It's not random," Patel says, his eyes wide. "It's a message to who?" The team doesn't know, but the hum feels alive, like it's calling something. They try light sensors, watching how the machine glows. The key spiral lights up first, then spreads, tracing lines across the surface. It's not just light, it's a pattern, like a map coming to life. Voss watches, her breath fast. "It's showing us something," she says. "Showing what?" Nobody's sure. The world outside is changing too. Guards bring reports from the surface. Strange lights in the sky, like auroras, but wrong, flickering over the desert. Animals are acting strange, dogs howling, horses running in circles. The team checks their phones, sneaking past global cause signal blocks. News is trickling out, whispers of odd events, tremors in Nevada, lights in the Sahara, static on radios in Mongolia. The team freezes, their eyes meeting. It's not just us, Voss says. It's everywhere. The machine's pulses are reaching out, touching things they can't see. The web is growing, and there at the center. Global Cause bosses are furious, their voices crackling over the radio. Shut it down, they say. Now. But there's no off switch. The machine is awake, and it's not listening to them. Voss argues back, her voice hard. We didn't start this, she says. It was waiting. The suits don't care. They send more guards, their boots louder than ever. The team feels the pressure, but they keep going. They're scientists, chasing truth, not orders. Chen keeps sketching, her notebook a maze of spirals and webs. Patel checks the sensors, muttering about impossible signals. Voss stays focused, but her hands shake when she thinks no one's looking. The team notices something new, dreams. Chen wakes up gasping, saying she saw the machine in her sleep. It spirals spinning, showing her places she's never been. Patel admits he's dreaming, TI's watching him, a hum that follows him awake. Even Voss, always calm, looks shaken. It's in my head, she says, her voice low, like it's trying to tell me something. The dreams aren't random, they're clear, vivid, like memories that aren't theirs. The team doesn't talk about it much, but it's there, a quiet fear growing. Is the machine doing this? Is it reaching into their minds? The cavern feels smaller, like it's listening to their thoughts. They try one big test, a desperate one. They set up a new scanner, one that tracks energy in real time. It's risky, too much energy could break something or make things worse. The scanner hums, then whines. The machine answers with a pulse, stronger than before. Lights flicker and dust falls from the ceiling. Seeker's screens flash, showing the web again, brighter now, stretching across the earth, maybe beyond. Points light up deserts, mountains, oceans like stars waking up. Voss stares, her voice barely a whisper. It's not alone, she says. It's calling something. Calling what? The team doesn't know, but the web feels alive, like it's moving on its own. The cavern hums with tension, a low pulse from the machine blending with the steady buzz of the team's equipment, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath after the last test's seismic ripples. It's early October 2025, and the Taklamakan desert above remains a blistering expanse of sand. But down here, the cold seeps deeper, mirroring the growing unease among Dr. Aria Voss and her team. The machine, now known to be 14 million years old, has revealed itself as more than a relic. It's a living network, its glowing web of signals stretching across the earth. Maybe beyond, awakened by their reckless tests. The air still vibrates from the last pulse, which shook the cavern and sent strange lights dancing across the desert sky, leaving wildlife silent and sensors screaming with data about distant tremors. Voss stands before the machine, its smooth surface faintly glowing, the key spiral pulsing like a heartbeat under her gaze. They've caught its signals, felt its dreams, seen its map. But one question burns brighter than ever. Who built this thing, and why is it here? The team gathers around a makeshift table, screens flickering with Seeker's latest analysis, their faces drawn from sleepless nights haunted by visions of spirals and unseen eyes. Voss's voice cuts through the hum, calm but heavy with purpose. They need to trace the machine's origins. to pin down whether it's a ghost of Earth's past, a visitor from the stars, or something stranger. Mei Chen flips through her notebook, her sketches of the machine's patterns now dense with overlapping spirals, and suggests they revisit the Silurian idea lost civilization from millions of years ago. Intelligent enough to build this, but erased by time. The team nods, drawn to the idea of a forgotten earthly race. Perhaps dinosaurs or an unknown species that rose and fell in the Mioceno's warm jungles, leaving only this machine. But Patel, the physicist, pushes back, his voice sharp. There are no fossils, no ruins. Nothing to support a civilization that advanced, and the machine's flawless state defies earthly decay. He points to the stars, arguing it's an alien probe, sent to seed or watch Earth, buried deep to wait for a signal like the one they've just sent. The idea chills them, fitting the machine's unearthly design and cosmic web. But it raises questions. Why hide it so deep, and why now? Samir, the technician, offers a quieter theory, his eyes darting nervously. What if it's from the future, a time-displaced artifact sent back to warn or guide? The team pauses, grappling with the paradox. Could their own actions have called it into being? Seeker's screens flash with new data, showing the machine's signals aligning with mathematical constants not found in human science. Like a code written for a mind beyond ours. Voss leans in, her breath catching as she traces the key spiral's pattern, which Seeker now links to universal geometry's ratios found in galaxies. Not just Earth. This pulls them back to the alien theory. But Patel admits a flaw. No extraterrestrial signal has ever matched this complexity, and the machine feels too tied to Earth's geology. Chen counters with a twist. What if it's both built by an Earth species that left for the stars, planting this as a beacon? The team debates, their voices rising, each theory breaking something history, physics, or time itself. They turn to the machine, its hum steady but stronger, as if it's listening to their guesses. Voss decides to test it, not with pulses, but with a new approach. They'll mimic its own signals, feeding back the key spiral's math through Seeker's algorithms. The setup takes hours, cables snaking across the cavern, lights flickering as they align the signal. When they send it, the machine responds instantly, a deep hum that shakes the air, followed by a glow that traces the spiral, then spreads, lighting up new patterns across the surface. Seeker's screens erupt with data, showing a map not just of Earth, but of stars. Constellations that don't match today's sky, but might have 14 million years ago. The team freezes, the cavern's cold sinking deeper as they realize the machine might be pointing to a specific time and place, a lost origin. But the map shifts, showing lines that loop back to Earth, suggesting a cycle: creation, departure, return. Voss's voice trembles as she says, "It's not just who built it, it's why they left it." The team grapples with this, their theories fraying. A civilization that vanished. Aliens who seeded Earth, or a future self warning them across time. Each idea feels close but incomplete, like a puzzle missing half its pieces. The machine's hum grows louder, and the cavern shakes again, a small tremor that rattles their tools. Outside, reports flood in: more lights in the sky, tremors in distant deserts, static on global radios. The guards, sent by Global Core, grow tense, their radios buzzing with orders to lock down the site. Voss ignores them, her focus on the machine, which now pulses in sync with Seeker's signal, as if it's pleased with their attempt to speak its language. Chun's dreams are worse now, showing her a web of light that feels like a warning. while Patel admits he's hearing the hum even when he's not near the machine. The team pushes forward, driven by questions they can't answer. They try another signal, this time stronger, feeding the machine's own math back to it. The response is overwhelming, a pulse that shakes the cavern, lights flickering, dust falling like snow. Seeker's screens show a new image, a web of stars, Earth at its center, linked by lines that pulse like veins. Voss steps back, her eyes wide. "It's not just a machine," she says. "It's a sentinel, watching, waiting. For what? For them, for something else." The hum grows steady, like a heart waking up, and the team feels that the machine is no longer just answering. It's choosing what to say. The segment ends with Voss staring at the glowing spiral, her voice soft but heavy. If this is a sentinel, who's it guarding? The question lingers, unanswered, as the machine's light pulses once more, casting shadows that seem to move on their own. The cavern trembles faintly, a lingering echo of the machine's last pulse, as if the Earth itself is reacting to the glowing web of stars and signals that Dr. Aria Voss and her team glimpsed moments ago. It's mid-October 2025, and the Taklamakan desert above remains a relentless sea of heat, but below, the air is thick with a cold that feels alive, charged with the machine's steady hum. The team stands in the dim glow of their work lights, their faces drawn from weeks of relentless discovery, haunted by dreams of spirals and a growing sense that the machine 14 million years old, from a time before humans, is not just a relic but a sentinel, watching, waiting, and now speaking in ways they can barely grasp. The last test revealed a map of stars, Earth at its heart, tied to a network that stretches beyond the cavern, perhaps across the planet or into the cosmos. Voss stares at the machine's surface, where the key spiral pulses faintly, as if daring them to ask more. They've debated its origins, lost civilization, alien probe, time-displaced artifact, but now the question shifts. What can this thing do? The team sets up new equipment, their hands moving fast despite their exhaustion, driven by a mix of fear and wonder. Seeker, the AI, hums in the corner, its screens flickering with data from the machine's signals, now showing patterns that suggest more than communicational purpose, a function they haven't yet touched. Voss proposes a new approach. Instead of probing the machine's origins, they'll test its capabilities, mapping what it can do and how it's affecting the world. They start with environmental sensors, tracking subtle changes since the last pulse. The readings are startling. Magnetic fields around the cavern are shifting, bending in ways that defy physics, as if the machine is rewriting the Earth's own rules. Patel, the physicist, checks the data, his voice tight. It's manipulating fields, not just sending signals. The team exchanges glances, the cavern's shadows seeming to twist in the flickering light. They set up thermal scanners, finding heat spikes in the rock, not random but patterned, like the machine is warming specific points in a grid. Outside, reports keep coming, guards whisper of strange weather, sudden fogs rolling over the desert, and equipment failing in nearby camps. Mei Chen, clutching her notebook of spiral sketches, suggests the machine might be controlling more than they thought, maybe even the environment itself. The team tests this, sending a low-frequency signal to mimic the machine's infrasound. The response is immediate. A soft glow spreads across the surface, and the air hums. Not just in the cavern, but outside, where the fog thickens and a faint tremor shakes the ground. Seeker's screens show a new pattern, a grid of energy, not just local but global, linking points that match the web they saw before. Voss's breath catches as she realizes the machine isn't just reacting. It's shaping the world around it, bending magnetic fields, altering temperatures, maybe even influencing the sky. They push further, using Seeker to analyze the machine's signals in real time. And the AI flags something new. The pulses are modulating, changing pitch and rhythm like a language growing more complex. The team tries to mimic this, sending a sequence based on the key spiral's math. The machine answers with a pulse so strong it knocks out half their lights, leaving them in near darkness, the hum now a deep rumble that vibrates their bones. Seeker's screens flash with a new image, a map, not of stars but of Earth, showing energy spikes in deserts, oceans, and mountains, places where no one's looking but the machine is reaching. Patel whispers, "It's alive, isn't it?" Nobody answers, but the question hangs heavy, the cavern feeling smaller, as if the machine is pulling them closer. They try one more test, a risky one, feeding the machine a signal that combines light, sound, and electricity, all tuned to the key spiral's pattern. The response is overwhelming. The surface glows bright, the grooves lighting up like a city waking up, and Seeker shows a surge of energy, not just in the cavern, but across the globe, triggering tremors in distant places and static on radios worldwide. Voss steps back, her eyes wide as the machine's hum shifts, almost like a voice, not angry but curious, as if testing them back. The guards, now crowding the tunnels, shout warnings, their radios buzzing with Global Core's orders to stop. But the team can't there, too deep, too close to something they don't understand. Chen's dreams are worse, showing her a world covered in webs of light, while Patel admits he's hearing the hum even when he's away, like it's inside him. Voss, her notes now a tangle of frantic scribbles, pushes the team to keep going, saying, "If it's this powerful, we need to know what it wants." The machine's capabilities seem endless: magnetic control, thermal shifts, maybe even influencing minds, and the team grapples with what it means. Is it a tool, a weapon, or something alive, choosing its moment? They try a final test, sending a signal that mimics the machine's own energy pattern, hoping to see its full power. The cavern shakes, harder than before, and the surface erupts in light, the key spiral spinning like a galaxy, projecting a hologram web of energy, Earth at its core, pulsing with points that could be machines, cities, or something else entirely. The hum grows loud, almost a song, and Seeker crashes again, its last image showing the web reaching beyond Earth into the stars. Voss stares, her voice barely audible. It's not just here, it's everywhere. The segment ends with the machine's light fading, but the hum stays, stronger, like a mind waking up. And Voss's question lingers. If this is what it can do, what's it planning next? The cavern's hum lingers like a heartbeat, its rhythm now a constant undercurrent after the machine's dazzling display of power, holographic web of light that mapped Earth and stars, hinting at a purpose far beyond the team's grasp. It's late October 2025, and the Taklamakan Desert above shimmers with heat. But below, the cold wraps tighter, as if the machine is drawing energy from the air itself. Dr. Arya Voss stands before its glowing surface, the key spiral still faintly pulsing, a reminder of the global tremors and strange signals triggered by their last test. The team is fraying, exhausted by weeks of relentless discovery, haunted by dreams of webs and whispers, and shaken by the machine's ability to bend magnetic fields, shift weather, and perhaps touch their minds. They've traced its 14-million-year age, debated its origins, and glimpsed its vast network. But now the world outside is reacting, and the machine's presence is no longer a secret. Leaks have slipped past Global Core's iron grip, sparking whispers online, tweets about desert lights, shaky videos of auroras in impossible places, and rumors of a find that could rewrite history. Voss and her team, surrounded by flickering screens and nervous guards, shift their focus. How is this machine changing humanity itself? They begin cataloging the ripples, not just in the earth, but in people's scientists, locals, even strangers thousands of miles away. Mei Chen, her notebook now a chaotic tapestry of spirals, reports hearing from a colleague in Cairo, similar tremors shook the Sahara, and nomads spoke of a hum in the sand, like a voice from below. Patel, his eyes hollow from sleepless nights, pulls data from global news feeds, finding stories of disrupted compasses in Nevada, crop circles forming overnight in Brazil, and fishermen in the Pacific reporting glowing waters. The team sets up a satellite link, defying Global Core's orders, to monitor social media, where hashtags like #DesertMachine trend with blurry images of the dig site. Voss, her voice steady despite her trembling hands, suggests the machine's influence is cultural, not just physical. Its signals are sparking art, music, even prayers. They find sketches online, eerily like Chen's, drawn by people who've never seen the machine, and songs in remote villages echoing its hum. The team tests this, playing one of these songs, a haunting melody from Mongolia near the machine, and it responds with a soft glow, as if recognizing its own voice. Seeker, the AI, reboots after its last crash, analyzing these human echoes and flags patterns. The machine's signals seem to amplify creativity, fear, and wonder, like it's planting ideas in minds far beyond the cavern. Voss wonders if this is deliberate, a function of the Sentinel to shape thought, not just landscapes. The team digs deeper, interviewing guards who admit to strange dreams, visions of stars and spirals, like the team's own. Outside, the desert community shifts. Locals paint murals of glowing webs, and a nearby shrine overflows with offerings to an ancient voice. The machine's influence is spreading, not as a command but a spark, igniting human imagination and dread. Voss tries a new experiment, projecting images of these murals onto the machine's surface, and it pulses brighter, the key spiral spinning faster, as if feeding on the art. Seeker's data shows a spike in signal strength, correlating with global posts about the machine, suggesting it's drawing energy from human attention. Patel, his voice breaking, asks if they're controlling it or if it's controlling them, a question that hangs heavy as the cavern shakes with another faint tremor. Global Core's bosses, their radios crackling with panic, demand the team stop, warning of chaos if the world learns more. But Voss pushes back, saying the machine's effects are already out there, reshaping cultures, faiths, and fears. They try one final test, broadcasting a simple human message, a poem about wonder and the unknowns to the machine's signals. The response is staggering. The surface erupts in light, projecting a hologram of Earth, not as it is, but as it might have been, with cities of light where deserts now stand, and the key spiral at its heart. The hum grows loud, almost singing, and Seeker shows the signal spreading, touching minds in distant cities, inspiring art, music, and questions about humanity's place. The team stands silent, their faces pale, as Voss whispers. It's not just a machine, it's a mirror, showing us who we are. The segment closes with the hologram fading, the hum softening, but the question remains, is the machine shaping humanity? Or is humanity shaping it? The cavern pulses with a faint glow, the machine's key spiral still shimmering from the holographic vision of an ancient Earth that left the team speechless, a glimpse of lost cities and a network tying humanity to something vast and unknown. It's early November 2025, and the Taklamakan desert above is cooling, but below, the air feels charged, as if the machine is weaving its own atmosphere of anticipation and dread. Dr. Arya Voss stands before its dark, flawless surface, her team huddled around flickering screens, their faces etched with exhaustion and awe after weeks of unraveling its signals, dreams, and global echoes. The machine, 14 million years old, has sparked art, fear, and wonder worldwide. Its influence leaking through global core's secrecy to ignite social media, village songs, and distant tremors. But now, the team faces a darker question. What happens if this power is harnessed, or worse, misused? The machine's ability to bend magnetic fields, shift weather, and touch minds hints at a force beyond comprehension. And the world outside is starting to notice governments, corporations, and fringe groups whispering about a discovery that could shift power forever. Voss, her notes now a frantic scrawl of warnings and questions, gathers the team to confront the risks, their voices low to avoid the ears of global core's ever-present guards. They've seen the machine's web connect deserts, oceans, and stars, and felt its influence in their dreams. But Patel raises a new fear. What if it's a weapon, dormant until now, activated by their tests? He points to Seeker's data, showing energy spikes that could disrupt power grids or worse, manipulate environments on a planetary scale. Mei Chen, her sketches now mirroring the global art inspired by the machine, suggests it might not be a weapon but a tool meant to shape worlds or minds. But even that feels dangerous. Dependency on its power could trap humanity in a cycle they don't understand. The team tests this cautiously, sending a low-energy signal to the machine, tuned to its own patterns, and it responds with a soft hum and a flicker of the key spiral. But the sensors detect a ripple effect, a brief blackout in a nearby city, crops wilting in a distant valley. Voss's breath catches as she realizes the machine's reach is growing, its effects no longer confined to the cavern. They dig into Seeker's analysis, which flags the machine's signals as adaptive, learning from each test, possibly even from human emotions: fear, curiosity, hope. This sparks a heated debate. Should they use its power to solve crises, like climate change, or seal it away to avoid catastrophe? Patel argues for caution, citing historical tech, Leap's nuclear power, AI, that brought progress but also peril. Chen counters with a vision of the machine healing barren lands, but admits the risk of reliance, like a drug humanity can't quit. Outside, the world grows restless. Leaked videos of the desert lights fuel conspiracy theories, and a UN envoy demands access, blocked by Global Core's private army. The team tries a new experiment, projecting a signal of human intent, a plea for balance into the machine, hoping to steer its influence. The response is immediate, a pulse that shakes the cavern, lights the surface in a dazzling web, and triggers reports of calmed storms in the Pacific. But also unexplained power surges in Europe. Seeker's screens show the machine's network expanding, its signals now syncing with human activity: posts, prayers, even protests suggesting it's not just responding but shaping outcomes. Voss, her voice trembling, warns that using the machine could mean losing control, turning humanity into its servant rather than its master. The guards, now openly hostile, relay Global Core's orders to prepare the site for extraction, hinting at plans to weaponize or profit from the machine. The team resists, knowing any move could amplify its effects, for good or ill. They try one final test, sending a signal to limit the machine's output. But it backfires. The key spiral flares, the hum becomes a roar, and Seeker shows a global spike light in the Arctic, quakes in Antarctica, and a sudden bloom of crops in a desert thousands of miles away. The team stands frozen, the cavern shaking as Voss whispers, "It's deciding for us now." The segment closes with the machine's glow dimming, but its hum stronger, like a mind making up its own, leaving the team to wonder, can they harness this power, or will it harness them? Contained, they send one last signal, a human message of hope and humility, and the machine glows brighter, projecting a final image, a single point of light, Earth pulsing in a vast cosmic web, then fading into silence. The hum softens, the cavern stills, and Voss whispers, "It's not the end, it's a beginning." The machine's light dims, but its presence lingers, a quiet invitation to choose wisely. Outside, the world buzzes with questions, tweets, paintings, songs, all echoing the machine's call to wonder. The team steps back, their work done, leaving the Sentinel to wait for humanity's next move. What would you choose if you stood before it? Share your thoughts below and join us to explore the unknown. The cavern pulses with a lingering resonance. The machine's last holographic displayer, breathtaking web of Earth and stars. Alive with connections, still vivid in the minds of Dr. Aria Voss and her team, as if the very rock around them holds the echo of that vision. It's mid-November 2025, and the Taklamakan desert above shivers under an unseasonal chill, but below, the air hums with a warmth that seems to radiate from the machine itself. Its dark, flawless surface faintly glowing with the key spiral's pulse. The team, worn thin by months of relentless discovery, stands amid a tangle of cables and flickering screens, their faces reflecting the weight of what they've stirred. A 14-million-year-old sentinel that has reshaped weather, sparked global art, and seeped into human dreams. Its influence now a wildfire beyond Global Core's control. Leaks have fueled online frenzies, tweets about glowing skies, songs echoing the machine's hum, and whispers of a power that could redefine humanity's path. Voss, her notes a chaotic weave of insights and fears, gathers the team for a pivotal moment. They must push the machine to its fullest awakening, not to control it, but to understand its intent. The guards, their radios crackling with Global Core's demands to seize the site, loom closer, but the team's focus is unshaken. They've seen the machine bend magnetic fields, bloom deserts, and touch minds, but its true purpose remains elusive, a tool, a mind, or a warning from a time before humans. Voss proposes a final, daring test, a synchronized signal combining all they've learned: light, sound, electricity, and the key spirals must amplified through Seeker's algorithms to speak to the machine as an equal. The setup takes hours, the cavern buzzing with the team's quiet urgency as they align lasers, tune speakers, and calibrate Seeker to mirror the machine's signals. When they send the signal, the response is immediate and overwhelming. The machine's surface ignites in a blaze of light. The key spiral spinning into a massive hologram that fills the Kavanar map of Earth. Its deserts, oceans, and mountains pulsing with nodes of light. Connected by a web that stretches to the stars, showing constellations long vanished. The hum becomes a chorus, not just a sound, but a vibration that shakes the rock, the air, their bones, as if the machine is singing its truth. Seekers' screens surge with data, mapping signals that sync with global events, calmed storms, blooming fields, even shifts in human behavior, like protests quieting and communities uniting. But the data also shows a warning. The machine's power is growing, feeding on human attention, and a single misstep could amplify its effects beyond control, risking chaos or dependency. Voss, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands, realizes the machine isn't dictating terms, it's offering a partnership, a chance to shape a future where humanity could heal its world or lose itself to the machine's will. The guards burst in, shouting orders to shut down the test, but the team presses on, sending a second signal. This one infused with human intent, message of unity, hope, and caution. The machine answers with a pulse so strong it cracks the cavern wall, the hologram expanding to show Earth not as it is, but as it could be. A planet woven with light, its scars mended, its people connected. The hum softens to a whisper, almost gentle, as if the machine is waiting for humanity's response. Patel, his eyes wide, murmurs that it's not just a sentinel, it's a bridge, linking past, present, and future. Chen, clutching her notebook of spirals, says she saw this in her dreams, a world remade but fragile, hinging on choice. Voss steps closer to the machine, its glow reflecting in her eyes, and speaks softly. It's asking us what we want to be. The team stands silent, the cavern still, as the hologram fades, but the web's image lingers in their minds. A challenge to act, to choose, to carry this moment forward. The guards' radios crackle louder, global cause threats growing, but the machine's hum holds steady, a quiet call to keep searching, to keep asking. What would you ask of a machine that could change everything? Share your thoughts below and join us as we step deeper into the unknown. The cavern falls silent, the machine's glow fading, its hum a whisper as Dr. Aria Voss and her team stand before it, awestruck. The 14-million-year-old sentinel has shown them a world Ramada deserts blooming, skies calmed, humanity linked by its cosmic web, but its power teeters on a knife's edge, a gift to heal or a force to enslave. Global cause guards close in, their orders drowned by the machine's quiet call. Voss touches its surface, feeling its pulse, and whispers, "It's waiting for us to choose." The hologram lingers in their minds, a future of light, fragile and unclaimed. Will humanity rise to meet it or fall under its weight? The machine watches, silent, eternal. What would you choose if its voice called to you? Share your thoughts below and join us to explore the unknown.